Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the About Nothing podcast. I don't want to call it a break or I hate us or whatever it is that is pronounced as, but we're here. And for those that joined us, the few people that joined us on our NFL stream last week Sunday, who LMJ, the Chiefs are playing today. Alpha, would you be waking up by 12:30? We can't hear you. Bolish, can you hear him?
No, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I think you guys can hear me
Okay,
now.
yeah, you can hear me now. Yeah, you can hear
I
me
was
now.
testing my external mic. Yeah, I think I'll be up. I will try and see the game, and hopefully this would be like a sequence towards the Super Bowl. It don't be like I'm just shocking myself into the Super Bowl like I've always done for the past 2 seasons.
I like your belief. So you are certain that you guys are going to the Super Bowl regardless.
Definitely. I think we're the best team now. I know Polish always likes to disagree with whatever I say. That is the fault. So you probably come and say, no, we are not. But tell me a quarterback that is better than Patrick Mahomes this season. I will wait.
Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen.
Yes, until it gets to crunch time now. When it gets to crunch time, we know who's who.
Bolish, are you hearing what I'm hearing? Are you seeing what I'm saying about the LMJ's confidence? Or
Yeah, I can hear what you are saying. But let's just see what LMD has to offer us. Let's wait and see what he has to say when the time comes.
away from NFL down to Formula One, I think Formula One is the best place to start because the GOAT is in red. We saw the picture of Lewis Hamilton in Maranello looking all dapper with a lot of aura and reminding the world that okay, I'm the king. Elementary, before we even dive into Hamilton's move to Ferrari and stuff like that, I think the best place to start is with what is going on in Formula One now in terms of the rules. Because Ben Al-Fayed, if I'm not mistaken, who is the head of the FIA, had been proposing a particular law since last season, whereby he said, oh, Formula One drivers swear too much, they don't talk like this, they shouldn't speak like this, they should speak like this, blah, 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 and all those things. And it became an idea of, I don't get it. We're not secondary school students now. We're not kids. If in the heat of the moment in the car, we swear and we use swear words, we're not directing it to anybody. We're not being disrespectful to anybody. Why are you trying to restrict our language and stuff like that? It was a debate between the Drivers Association and the FIA president. Then it died down. Then all of a sudden, last week, we heard that now new rules have been made whereby points can be deducted, drivers can be suspended. And the report we heard during the week was, oh, Al-Fayed went ahead to propose these laws without even the, how do I put it, the unification of the entire FIA board to be like, okay, this makes sense, let's do this. And I'm wondering, I know it's Arab and stuff and they have their rules, but the world doesn't revolve around you guys now.
Yeah. As funny as that sounds, it's just I feel like it's just more drama added to the whole dynamism that we have in Formula One already. And it really doesn't make sense to me. There are penalties as far as race ban. And I'm like, what they say in Yoruba, what have we carried, what have we thrown? Like it's it's like for like in the heat of the moment, you're talking about people driving, people that just a little mistake on the wheel can lead to loss of their life. You now want to put a cage to their language, their utterance. Like most of this is as spontaneous. It's not something that should lead to. And the fact that it's trying to get over the head of many people on the board of the FIA is even the very funny part for me. Is the fact that it feels like it can impose things over the association. Though it's going to be a very interesting season. Also considering the new dynamism that is going to happen in 2026 and how everybody's already planning and already building their car towards the new regulation. So I feel like it's a good time and this should swing things in a very parabolic way. we just hope that it gives us the premium entertainment we're hoping it does. But for me, it makes no sense. Like trying to teach adults how to speak in the heat of the moment is not what we should be doing in sport.
Polish, does the new rule improve the sport in any way?
There's nothing improving the sport about policing people about how they express themselves. Because where does it stop? If you today you think that people using the F word or making it a little bit of some curse words is why you think that why what you want to change. What happens if there's a a particular person that you don't like and they say a particular thing and you're able to bring it up and start making changes based on what they say. So it doesn't make sense at any point. There's nothing improving the sport about that particular rule. It just feels like someone trying to just like someone trying to just make everything about themselves. Because these guys they're making changes at extreme speeds and putting their life on the line. And what they're concerned about is their reaction to some expressions when they're doing those things. Doesn't make sense. It's just like it's just as something like the NBA policing reactions after dunks. That's one of the most ridiculous rules in the NBA, where a player after doing a massive dunk, then you now give them a tech for celebrating. Sometimes the celebrations are actually maybe less than 2 seconds, and then before it, you issue them a tech. Then you come and say nobody's participating in the dunk contest. You're already making the dunk itself not even fun in the game. So why would anyone be interested in coming to come and exhibit for you? So it doesn't. Oh, I think let me switch my audio channel.
Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I can hear you guys.
Okay. I don't want to talk about the rules now. I think we all know where we stand about the rules. I don't know how excited you are about the fact that Hamilton will be putting on red next season.
It seems like the whole world is excited about it. I mean, we just want to see what happens. I mean, I'm one of those people that I just still believe that the season. I can't wait for the season to just start. Let's see, because I'm just hopeful right now that he has a very good season, and Ferrari actually sees what and act accordingly and give him all the support he needs, because that's very important too. It's not just one man going into that organization. It's also like the other people respecting what he has done and the champion that he is, and just work and collaborate with him to just give him like the best chance of getting another championship, because everybody seems like we're just championing for that, because it will really make a statement, and it will be interesting to see, basically.
Bedge, on the issue of Hamilton and stuff, because we know most times teams go ahead and say, oh, there's no driver number one, driver number two. At some point during the season, there's number one and there's number two. In short, at the beginning of the season, depending on the team, we know who is number one, we know who is number two. But for Ferrari now, they find themselves in a tricky situation whereby Charles Leclerc is quite fast. He's a fast driver. Obviously, not a champion like Hamilton is sometimes 8-time world champion. Sorry, let me correct myself. 8-time world champion. If you don't agree with me, you can go and argue with your keyboard. 8-time world champion who was robbed and every other thing. So now for Freddie Vasseur, who's the team principal of Ferrari, is it a difficult thing whereby he's on the spot and it has to be a situation that how do I manage these two? And looking at the fact that you came close to winning the constructors last season, you fell short at the end. You're targeting the constructors. The reason why Hamilton is also joining you is with the aim of winning that quote unquote 8th title, standing on his own as the greatest. And Charles Leclerc is also looking for his own first world title, his first ever world title as well. Now, aside from getting the car right, which is compulsory and important to ensure that you have a good season, how do you manage the both of them? How do you ensure that? Because we've seen them as friends. Leclerc has always looked up to Hamilton from afar, the way he has admired him and stuff. But it's a different thing when you're teammates now competing and you're like, I need to overtake this guy. I'm faster than him. Can you excuse me?
Yeah, I think that is what this is a very pivotal moment for Ferrari. This would also show how good they are with man management. Because if we are being sincere, Leclerc is a very aggressive driver. Leclerc is not the kind of is not a driver like Bottas that would willingly take being second fiddle to somebody. And what happens in the heat of the moment when in the beginning of the season, say I'm not trying to jinx this red jacket, please you should forgive me. But what happens in the beginning of the season if Lewis Hamilton's car blows up and Leclerc is the only one for like 2 races and he has point advantage over Hamilton, and then maybe in the fifth, seventh Grand Prix, Hamilton starts to catch up. What happens at that point in time? In a situation whereby you can beat both drivers to be first and second. Now, what happens in that kind of situation? So, everybody's talking about the eighth championship. Everybody's talking about the eighth championship. Everybody's not talking about the fact that this is going to be a rose box situation all over again if you're not careful. What happens when somebody might need to cede that seat to the other person? Because this is also what will determine the championship if there is cohesion between teammates, if the team chemistry is good. The reason why Ferrari looked like on the up was because there was this kind of brotherhood that was beginning to form between him and Sainz. And you see how emotional it was when Sainz was narrating his side of the story and all of that. Even people like us that were pushing for him to be forced out were still sympathizing with him. So, are we going to get a Bottas Hamilton situation again, or are we going to get a Rosberg Hamilton situation again? I have to be very sincere with you. If we have a Rosberg situation, it is not going to be an easy one because, as silly as this may sound, I feel the reason why we are still dragging this 8-1 is because we tossed it up to Rosberg the other time. And in all fairness, it's one of the reasons why I didn't even bat an eye when Hamilton was leaving Mercedes, because I felt like they've not always had his best interest at that, and I don't think they'll be starting anytime soon.
So
Okay,
to
go on, Bali.
just to add, actually, I feel like if we get to the level of the Rosberg situation, it's almost like a positive for me, because that means Ferrari is even enough in the first place for us to be having that conversation. Because we need to remember that in the last 3-4 years, Ferrari, even though they've had one of some of the fastest cars on the grid, they've not had their acts together in terms of putting the car together, gearbox. Sometimes they will have some of the straight line speed, but for some reason they will not be able to, get the best out of the car. So I feel like before we get to that level of having that Rosberg Hamilton conversation, or where who is the top driver, who is whatever, I think the first question is the first 10 races of the season, are they even competitive? Because if they're not competitive at all, then I don't think we'll have that situation, because it'll just be a case of, let's just drive anybody that is informed today will support the person and whatnot. But if they have a competitive car in the first 10 weeks of the season, I think over time, as good as Leclerc is and as fast as he is, I think there's a second gear or the second level that someone like Hamilton has gotten to, that someone like Verstappen has tapped into on the grid, where they will not just get this car. This is okay. This is the best car on the grid, fine. But they'll not just get the best from the best car on the grid, but they will also manage it to the extent that they'll get the best result also from that car. Because you have a situation whereby we've seen in the past, even Red Bull currently, Red Bull has some of the best car in the grid, but the Red Bull teammate is not always top 2 every time or top 3 every time. So there's something to say about a driver being able to get the best result from even the best car. So yes, Leclerc is going to be, is a good thing to have someone that challenging on the other side, because it also helps in terms of pushing the team to want to do better. Because obviously there's this thinking or this notion that sometimes some of these teams are just merely eating. They're just, let's just kasha wambe. But if you have a situation where as a Ferrari team, you are now competing for the constructors championship for and you are maybe leading, or maybe you are close, and you are, things are you're shaking up, or you have someone even going for the title. When was the last time someone with Ferrari won the F1? So even if it's not Hamilton that is leading at any point in time, or even let's say it's Leclerc that is leading, the fact that that is happening at the time he's there, I think it's important. Yes, we are rooting for Hamilton to do well. We are rooting for Hamilton to win another championship. Maybe not this year, maybe the next before he retires, one more championship. But I feel like the aspect of having that conversation about Rosberg, I think that's inevitable. I won't lie to you. I just feel like it's a good sign for now. When we get to that bridge, it might become a bad problem. But for now, that means they have a good enough car. They are competing well. They have a good enough team for the season. Because at this point, except we want to deceive ourselves, we don't really know what Ferrari is going to offer going into this season. We have an idea. We think we may have some clue, but we don't know how solid or how good the car Ferrari is going to provide.
I think we're basing everything based on last season. Based on what our last season ended, like the way it ended, they were competing for the constructors title and stuff like that. I think that's and Polish. Let me even stick to your point for a second there about like the competitiveness and stuff. But let's even create a scenario whereby Ferrari maintains that competitiveness from last season into this upcoming season, which starts in March. What does Hamilton need to do? Like, how does Hamilton get quote and unquote number 8?
So I think the first important thing is I don't know how much you're able to address during the preseason and during the testing and stuff like that. But he has to make sure that he has to be mistake free. He has to so what do I mean by that? We've seen situations whereby the race director makes a mistake. We've seen situations whereby the race engineer makes a mistake. We've seen situations whereby the engineers in the back room make a mistake. We've seen situations whereby the driver himself make a mistake. We've seen situations whereby the strategy is wrong. We've seen situations whereby so many things, there are so many things that have to go right for F1, for you to get everything up, according to what you want. Now, what I feel has to happen is that number one, they need to lean on the experience of Ferrari, because some of the reports we got from Mercedes in the last 2 to 3 years is that Hamilton, even as a 7-time world champion or 8-time world champion, depending on whatever you choose, was having conversations with the squad, and he was getting into situations where he was almost like having to fight for his opinions to be heard. Especially the one where he was talking about, oh, this door is dragging. I can feel this door dragging. And the engineers argued with him all through the preseason and the testing. And then they got into the season, and then the engineers they came back to Bono came back to admit that, oh, the doors are actually dragging and there's actually a problem with the door. I want to believe that Ferrari signing him and bringing him over would, at least at the first 2 seasons that he's there, listen to his expertise based on his experience, listen to his skill that comes from his knowledge, the skill he has acquired based on the knowledge he has gained on the grid, and would not be cavalier, because Mercedes got comfortable. Mercedes got comfortable because they were not like this juggernaut before. Yes, maybe before Hamilton showed up, they're not. They're what? How much were they worth? Bono literally made billions for the team in the time span of Hamilton because of how popular the team did under Hamilton. So they got comfortable and they felt like, oh, okay, we have one engineer from Harvard that is here, or we have one race Kinikon from Stanford. So they decided, I feel like that will not happen in Ferrari. And if the team collaborates with Hamilton, they will obviously get the best out of the car, because he is not a 8-time world champion because he's fast. No. He's a 8-time world champion because he's skillful, he's very, very technical, he pays attention to details, and you can look at all his championships. Sometimes, most of his championships, he didn't have the fastest car. Some of the championships he won, he didn't have the fastest car on the grid. Even the Saudi one that they robbed off of him, Red Bull had the fastest car. Their car was flying like a jet, and he still was supposed to win until they robbed him on the last day. So I feel like they just need to pay attention, collaborate, and then if they do that, if they are actually collaborating and listening to each other, I think they'll have a very solid car. And probably all you can ask for at this point is, can you be competitive? Can you go into the last 3 races of the season being plus or minus 10 points. That's what you can ask for. That means are you close to the leaders board by 10 points by 3 races to the end of the season? Because obviously no one can predict and say exactly, oh, this person that will win, except we see what happened to Verstappen last year, where by the first 10 races of the season he won like 9, and then by the time others were trying to catch up, it was already too late. So we need a situation whereby first 5 races of the season, if possible, 3 different winners, so that let things flow around. Then we know that okay, we have an exciting season ahead.
Akin, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you guys.
I heard you guys, Arsenal fans, are saying that the league is against you people or something, that they don't want you to win the league or something. What's going on? They keep giving you guys red cards or something.
That's too much of a conspiracy. If there's anything outside conspiracy, yourself, we should say that. I mean, it's
why does it look like everybody's screen is going darker and darker?
Everybody's going darker and darker.
Like the video. Okay, your video is not on, but
my video is on. But yeah, I think I'm back. I'm home now, so I will just switch to what's it called?
Okay, yeah, tell us about Arsenal.
I mean, what's his name? This guy happened now. What's the referee name that officiated the match yesterday? You guys should help me out now. Oliver. Yeah. I mean, it was clear. I mean, when you have people, other referees that have come out and probably commentators like, sport analysts, Mike Dean inclusive, he has come out to say that wasn't a red card. In fact, if there's anything, that was just only a yellow card. I'm just waiting for what Gallagher will say tomorrow, Monday now. What the excuse will be, because it seems like they always find a way to just defend their people. So I just want to know. I mean, the English refs are poor. We already know that. And it was just a disgrace yesterday, because it's so confusing till now. To have the foul done at the other half of the opponent, and we are talking about just an inch away from the penalty box, and you give a red card for that kind of tackle. I still don't have, and I don't even know if the explanation makes sense. Like, it would never make sense. But I hope that the Arsenal organization, they what's it called? They take the matter to court, and just so that at least the red doesn't stand. If it's just yellow, we'll accept it and just move on to the rest.
What do you mean by court?
No, not court. You just take how the
arbitration,
like what is a red card? I don't know if you guys.
No, he meant appealing the red card. That was what he meant.
Yeah, it's just appealing the red card.
I know, but okay, just appealing the red card. I thought you meant, let's take the Premier League to court because of the red card.
How will you take Premier League to court? You guys should know. It was just me looking for English and I didn't find it. It's the appeal I wanted to say, Jerry.
Okay, because now the PGMOL, the referee body in England has come out and said they support the referee's decision, blah blah blah. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, that's it. It's expected. Honestly, it's really expected at this point. They will defend their own. But if you have the likes of Mike Dean say it was a yellow card, Alan Shearer and other sport analysts say, this is just a yellow card. It's divided. The whole of England is media or whatever it's called is divided at this point in time, and we don't really even understand what the problem is, because they showed many instances in the past whereby this same ref has given different cards, and you are sort of like questioning it and said he's still making the same mistake over and over again. It's just a way of him to just impose himself in this game. He made it all about himself at the end of the day. So I really don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have much to say about that guy. It has even come to the extent whereby if any Arsenal fan, because I was on a space yesterday on Twitter whereby an Arsenal fan say anytime he sees this particular ref like this, he's not watching that match, and I'm like, wow, that's a very strong statement to make. So
okay, Akin, so let me ask you
about the English refs, and they are.
Akin, let me ask you. Okay. Because now Arsenal fans are rioting and protesting on Twitter. At least that's the only platform they have.
Why are you rioting?
Okay, wait now. You are protesting on Twitter that the FA doesn't, England doesn't want you guys to win the league, because that was the drama yesterday, that they don't want us to win the Premier League.
It's too much of an assertion to make that. Oh, they don't want you. I mean, it's just too much to say. That
Okay.
they don't want you to win. No, I don't. I won't go to that extreme. It's just too extreme, to be honest.
Okay. Thank God that you are saying that you don't agree with the conspiracy theory that there's someone after you people why you don't want to leave, because Boris does not even agree with you in the first place. As far as Boris is concerned, you people are not good enough.
See, I don't know why Arsenal is the football conversation we're having. To be fair, there are so many. There are so many. Wait, Aki, calm down. Aki, chill now. You let me finish now. There are many exciting, there's this is the transfer window season. There are many conversations ongoing. There are people struggling. There are people doing well. I don't know why we are bothered about we'll catch them next season team. I don't know why we are bothered about that. I said something at the beginning of this season, and I was saying it in a joking manner. And what I said was that, we might have a situation where Man City will play and be top of the league, maybe get to 8 something points, whatever, and then because of the financial fair play stuff that was going on, they'll be given a 40-point deduction or something. So therefore, they will come down from the first position down to maybe 16th, or maybe they will relegate. That's not the point. But the point is, it will now be an open season for Arsenal to win the title, because you have been second in the last 2 years. Man City is now giving point deduction, and you are the third, and you are the second. Therefore, you should win it. But my caveat at the beginning of the season, I don't know if anybody can go and pull up that statement or that episode. I said, but instead of Arsenal to be second this time around, they will now be third. Now be third, and Liverpool will now be second. You are on mute, Elemeje. I want to hear your comments.
Arsenal will now take their rightful position from
as the second again. So see, I know Falodun is Ifa name. It's not Ezekiel, it's not Ezekiah, it's not Moses. It's not a prophetic name. But still, Ifa Amapodu. I don't know if anybody knows what Odu means, but I know. What is going on right now is just because at this point, I think everybody can kind of assume that, barring some dramatic fall off, and the only person that can even pressure them, I'm not even talking about City now, I'm talking about Liverpool. The only person that can pressure Liverpool, as it were, is probably if City starts mounting the pressure. But if that's not happening, I don't think any other person is going to mount the pressure on Liverpool. They are going to be comfortable to the end of the season. So the fact that City will have this dreadful season and collapse, and then Arsenal will still misuse the opportunity and not finish top of the league, it's going to be very interesting to watch. And you know why it's going to be very interesting? It is going to be very interesting because by the time next season comes, Guardiola will have finalized his divorce. They will have decided, who is taking the house, who is not taking the house.
The divorce has been finalized now.
No, it's not finalized. And it's not finalized. Don't say what you don't know. It's not. The divorce is not finalized. Wait.
All I know is that at the end of this season, it's just because we are coming. See, we are only trying to catch up on this podcast because it's been a while.
Yeah, at the end of the season, what will happen?
At the end of this season, we will do what's it called? What is that that they do in financial firms and all that? Audit. We will do audit across all leagues.
Because I remember the day I was saying I'm going to the future. The Arsenal will not win the league. This same body was attacking me. That can I say such a statement? How can I say such a statement? This same body
see.
Wait.
Elemeje.
I need to be able to hear them clearly because
Elemeje, you cannot blame. Elemeje, you cannot blame for being a supportive fellow and a supportive. You cannot blame me.
Enemies.
No.
Oh, look at that, sir. I'm on him out.
Elemeje.
Oh, by me, this sorrow.
Elemeje, you cannot blame me for being a kind, supporting fellow.
I've never seen a faithful fan.
Some of us, as
I thought I was giving you content. Can you give me content?
see, as Orobo as I am, the kindness of my heart, now so my Orobo take, as I Orobo reach, now so the kindness of my heart take big reach. Shey you get? So the fact that I was, rooting for them is a positive reinforcement. Shey you understand? I'm being it's positive reinforcement. But it was still me that made that statement in the beginning of the season. Shey you get? The only thing is, next season, that maybe Arsenal will now gym us soon again. Man City will have now recovered. Guardiola will have settled down all the problems.
We do know that this season is not over yet. So,
spoken like a true Arsenal fan.
I love Arsenal fans.
Spoken like a true Arsenal fan.
Like the great philosopher.
What's the next topic on the agenda, Beck?
Akin. Before you go to the next topic.
We have to go on.
Both Barcelona. I think. Wait. Let me. One last statement. One last statement.
We need to see Man U again also before.
Forget about Man U. You don't know what they are doing. One last statement before we go. Both Arsenal and Barcelona. We are both.
Go and fix your roof. You're not supposed to be here.
We are both, behind by a lot of points. This is over. Molevi is over.
How much? You put your money on it.
How much?
How much are you putting on it?
How much now?
No, you tell
that
me.
Arsenal win the league.
Now you make the assertion saying that Arsenal will win the league.
No, are you trying to say that Arsenal will win the league? How much?
Arsenal will win the league.
Arsenal is not winning the league. Oh yeah, hello.
How much over you say?
250.
Let's do. No, that's too small. That's not enough. Let's do 400k.
Okay, we'll do 400k on one condition.
What's the condition?
The condition is that you will provide the 400k immediately and we'll put it in one account.
Whose account are we putting it to?
We'll put it in and it's for this. It's for this. What's it called? It's for the podcast.
Yes. So the way it work is we'll both put 400k. Then whoever wins will get his 400k back. Then the remaining 400k we use it to do podcast.
We'll do 70-30.
What is 70-30? Go hear me.
70-30. We have to invest more on the podcast.
You don't get what I'm. Okay, I get
what you're saying. You can't have your 400 back. It doesn't make any sense.
Why you don't know say I go win? you don't know say I go win. What do you win? What do you more? What do you win? Oh, he
we got to put money back into this, but if you collect your money back.
Aki, are you in or not?
No, see. Putting money into whatever we are doing, that was a different conversation. We can have that conversation on another day. We can have a stipulation, we can have a budget, whatever. That's not what we are talking about. We are talking about one-on-one bet. This is not matter. Forget even conversation. I'll collect all my money back. Then we'll not discuss what is the conversation for them.
Conversion rate,
See, they win league. They win. See. Forget it.
Aki, please let's move to Amorim, please. Elemede. Okay, I don't even want to focus on Amorim because he just got here. But this issue with Marcus Rashford, because it seems like now he's band for band. He has found a manager that has the time for his PR people. Because initially, after he got dropped for the City game, 2 days later, you're dropping an interview saying you want a new challenge, you need to leave, blah, 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 and every other thing. Then the manager decides that since you want to leave and you want a new challenge, you're not going to be in his squad. Then his management, we've been seeing all this PR from his management team come out to say, oh, he's going to leave. He has offers from all over the globe. Then suddenly the transfer window is here. There are no offers from all over the globe again. And we're hearing different reports about, oh, he's training three times a week, 3 times a day, every morning, 5 days, 2 days. He's the best trainer, blah, blah, blah. He might not leave. He wants to come back. He loves the club. And I'm like, instead of all this unnecessary drama, why can't Marcus Rashford himself? You're the one that went to grant that interview by yourself saying you want a new challenge. Why can't you grant an interview and say, okay, hands up? Rooney himself has once said he wants to leave Man United before, and he went, hands up, I'm sorry, I want to stay, I want to help the club. Why can't you just say, hands up, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I really want to stay. If the manager would have me, I would really love to stay. Because obviously now, you can't find clubs in Europe that can pay that money or want to keep you. All this unnecessary background drama. Because today now, they will release reports that he's training like a beast during training sessions. Amorim will say, nope, he's sick, he didn't even show up to training. And I'm like, this one is proper band for band. They are going deep, deep. This manager is not going to agree for him. So, like, how long will this drama continue?
I think the drama should continue as long as it should or it could, because we've got into an era whereby the players now hold more influence, more power, more say in football than managers used to. In times past, I don't think anything stuff like this would be an issue at all. Case and point, I know people will always say I go back to the era, but case and point, Fergie's era, stuff like this would never happen. You are either in, you are out, and you would not be running a different message from what the manager is running. So I feel like something that has been consistent with Amorim throughout his regime as a technician, as a coach, as a gaffer, has been the fact that he instills discipline wherever he goes to. So it is either you play by his rules or you don't play at all. So
So
I
why do you want him out now?
Exactly. I was about to ask the same question.
I told Wale when we started that it is just for band. It's just band. And because
Okay.
I, I feel like when he was hired, he told the board categorically that he would love to join next summer. Let's just finalize this deal and let me join next summer. And the board insisted that he must join now, that he must sail the ship and steady the ship. So I feel like whatever is happening in the team now has to happen. Whatever we are going through now has to happen. We need to feel that. And the era of players, the era of us having overbloated teams, like I'm not saying this to bant anybody, but there is no planet in which a player as inconsistent as Rashford should be earning close to £350,000. I know a lot of these wages now, with the issue we've seen with Anthony, seem to be like the press, the media don't have the full picture. A lot of times they try to throw a wrench into United because obviously it sells paper. Because we later found out that Anthony earns just 130 and we're made to believe he earns 200. So a lot of these figures might be out of proportion too. Case in point, if we are using the Anthony case as a case study. So, but he had 2 good seasons, and since then he has not been able to replicate those 2 seasons. So I see no reason why he should be holding the club to ransom. I felt we should have sold him when the stock was high, because I've always seen him as somebody that was rebellious kind of. He was somebody that he had issue with Vanguard, he had the same issue with Scotia, he had issue with what's this Austria man? He had issue with that man too. What's the name of this man? I've forgotten. Can you just imagine? So he has shown this pattern of somebody that feels like he is at the top of his game and can do whatever it suits him. So I don't feel that somebody that would fit into the new Gaffer system. It would not fit into a system. Somebody that is disciplined and might be a little bit pragmatic, sticking to his rules all the time. So I feel like the earlier we get over the saga, the better.
Madrid thought you disconnect.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Polish take over. Polish take over.
okay. So since we've talked about the fancy happenings around the Premier League, and the people predicting and hoping they'll win one thing or the other, even though it's daydreaming. So I think the question we'll probably need to ask is that, is there any signing that you are expecting to be finalized in this January, or maybe that you're hoping, not expecting, but you're hoping will be finalized to help your team or any team do well? Is there any particular signing you're looking forward to, completing in this January? Let's start with Akin, the best hopeful
You
Premier
think
League
I
winner.
was silent for? I was silent because there's really no sign in me. Arsenal is not going to do the needful. I did say that's why I did talk. Or you thought I did just what? My reason for staying silent is because there is no signing that is going to happen. I wishful thinking. We've been doing that all season and during the season, so I don't want to do that. Continue to do that because it's not going to happen. Honestly, so the transfer window ends now in is it February 3rd or something, and I can assure you for a fact that there is no big sign that they are saying the manager is saying they need a striker, but the way he has moved recently, the only thing I probably didn't have not like sort of agreed with him when it comes to I think it has to do with his signings. He hasn't gotten it right at all, and the annoying thing is that the board has been spending money, and the board would always do a cost benefit analysis at the end of the day. Like, oh, you've been buying all these players, but what exactly have you achieved? That's one question. And he has invested so much in the left back over the years when you know for a fact that, oh, at some point in the season, most of your attackers, they go on injury or they have issues. Why didn't you take that time? Why did you take that opportunity to invest up front? Now it's not a problem. And you've already made signing already for Zubimendi for summer, and you think the board would have what it takes in them to say, you know what, they want to go for a player this January. It's very hard. I'm not saying it's not impossible, it's not possible, but it's going to be difficult. It's genuinely going to be difficult. I'm just being realistic because there is no sign or whatsoever that has shown that, you know what, okay, yeah, it is promising. Oh, it's going to happen. No, I haven't seen. I haven't seen in any. If there's any news I've seen lately, it's just they want to go and sign a 17-year or 16-year-old boy. Hey Joe, Kilo 17-year-old boy in the middle of the season. What does he? What does he want to do?
I need to cut you short. So how were you now arguing with me and thinking the season is not over for people? Because how can you have this? You have because everyone.
What kind of fan will I be if I'm yielding to a Barcelona fan's word? Please.
It doesn't matter.
It matters.
You know No. Hey. Hello, everybody. Please. No. Please. No. Please. Before you say what you want to say.
To share our opinion.
No. You made a statement that is incorrect that we need to tell our fans about.
What is that?
You made a false statement. Barcelona is not your ops. Or guy in Barcelona. We are not ops. We are not ops. No.
I would never forgive you guys when you gave Van Persie red card as a second yellow. I would never. You are my ops.
Get over it. Get over it.
I won't get.
We have five. Let's say they will cancel. If we cancel that one, it's not as if Arsenal will win the Champions League. That's the funny thing. Even if we
sure, what are you saying now?
See,
what you're saying.
You literally got to the final, and I still flog you. See, forget all the story we are talking about.
See, you tried.
Please, let's be using
in this word. You tried it with you tried it with Arsenal.
The right qualitative adjective is important. Please. You cannot use the word ops for guy. Someone that is always beating you. You cannot use the word ops. Ops is your attacker. That's ops. Egbe. We are not egbe. We are not in the same category. Please don't use ops. You can use that adjective.
Let's move on, please.
Yes, we can move on, but please don't use ops. Please don't try it again. So I'm looking at some of the what's it called? Some of the topics. Maybe the next topic that I want us to talk about is the NFL playoffs so far. So there are many storylines, that you can pick up from the NFL playoffs because it has been exciting. Except you have not been watching, there have been so many storylines, so many new aspects to the playoffs. There have been quite a number of interesting perspectives. So I think the question I'll ask Akin, and I don't know how much of the playoffs element he has also seen. So I also post the question to him to hear from him. What's your most interesting storyline so far? Because we are going into the championship weekend, which is starting in about 2 hours. less than 2 hours. What's your most interesting story so far about the NFL playoffs?
I mean, the interesting story is, I mean, it has to be something more. I think is one that is actually generic, which is the fact that we have a rookie quarterback leading a Commanders team, for that matter, to is it the NFC or AFC? Please, you guys should correct me. Wale, Bolish.
You said what?
Is it the NFC or AFC? Commanders are in the
NFC.
So you have a rookie quarterback for that. I mean, for people that don't know, a rookie quarterback is someone that just came back fresh, a quarterback that just came back fresh from the college
Draft.
and he's already in the NFC Championship. That's something that has been said or has been highly spoken about in the NFL right now. So there's a chance that he might actually do something or cause an upset, which is very unlikely. But in the event that happens,
Bolish
will come to this podcast next week. Let me put it like that. Bolish will come to this podcast next week. And I mean, there's been some mental, mental battle going on during the week leading up to today. From the defensive coordinator telling Jalen Hurt that if he steps out of that pocket, we are going to treat him like a running back. I mean, there's nothing that is as sweeter as that ever.
That is emotional propaganda.
And I'll tell you, bro.
I'll tell you why it is.
It's a mental battle.
But that mental battle will only work on a rookie. That mental battle will only work on a rookie.
Exactly.
Because Jalen Hurt will always slide. Jalen Hurt does not play recklessly.
Let me tell you something. And you think they don't have this information?
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That conversation or that statement is just a emotional propaganda.
Let me tell you something. See. We are both right when we're analyzing it. What Jalen Hurt is capable of, we know that. They also know that. But it's just the way just to put it out there, like you said, propaganda. Okay, let me just say it. I mean, there's no harm or no. I mean, if I go ahead and say that, I mean, there's really nothing to it. It's just we just creating that. What makes the NFL ratings high? We all know that those kind of like strong pep talk or press conference talk before the real matchup, just to like galvanize everyone. Okay.
Well, Akin, yeah. You need to understand that sports is as equally mental as it is physical.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
That's the game. If they can get to Jalen Hurt's head and it works,
it's not going to happen because of the kind of quarterback that Jalen Hurt is.
Let me ask Aki a question. Let me ask Aki a question.
It's easy to say it's not going to happen. It's easy to say it's not going to happen.
Jalen Hurt has literally been benched in an NCAA tournament in the final, in the championship game. So he has been through everything. That's not even the point. The point is, I want to ask Akin, what is the most impressive part about the Eagles team? All over, everything about the Eagles team. Which part of the team is the most impressive?
I think the impressive part is their O-line first.
Okay. Let me say I agree with you, no line.
They have an impressive O-line. And
yes.
You said if you're saying the whole team, you're not talking about the offensive part, just everything all around.
Yeah,
they have a great defense, fantastic defense.
They are more
likely to get back. They are more likely to get to a rookie quarterback, obviously.
Because the conversation. Why I'm bringing this up?
Let me tell you something. I think you see, we're just creating like pros and cons for every team now. The cons is still like he's a rookie quarterback. And the Eagles defense will try as much as possible to make sure that they put him in the pocket, not use his legs or anything.
See, Akin, forget the fact that he's even a rookie quarterback. At this point, any team going to play the Commanders, as we are going to play the Commanders today, we can't treat him as a rookie quarterback because he has shown that he has composure, he has space, he has skill. He played 5 years in college, so he played a lot of games, a lot of reps, and the kind of offense, no other offense they're running in Commanders is kind of something he's used to in LSU and Arizona. Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm saying is, all the conversation that has been happening over the week about this game, everybody's having conversations about Jaden Daniels, this, that. No one is talking about the most important aspect of the game, which is if you want to pick a unit and say out of the two teams, offense, defense, special teams, offense, defense, special teams, if you want to rank them in order,
Eagles
the
defense.
number one is going to be the Eagles defense, and people are having conversations as if the Eagles defense do not exist.
I know that.
And people forget that even the Detroit Lions with 13 people on injury reserve, if they did not turn the ball over, they had a chance to actually win that game. They were down 3 when Jared Goff threw an interception, and then they went down to score and made it up by 10. And then they were down by 10, and he threw another interception. They went to score.
Yeah.
And then they were down. Then they were down again, and then Jameson Williams threw another interception. They literally have 5 interceptions in that game. And the Lions still had a chance before that 4th and 3, before that 3 and 4th and 1, where they had 12 men on the where the defense had 12 men on the
they're trying to
they still had an opportunity if they were able to make a stop there to go down and score and make it a 1-point game, 1-score game. Sorry. So if except you were saying the Philadelphia Eagles defense is nothing.
Nobody's saying that. I think you're misconstruing what is happening. What is happening is that they are trying to create a force about. They just want to create this sort of like, oh, it's going to be a great matchup. You understand? And they just want it. They want it to live up to the hype. That's what basically I'm already after. I just want to see. I don't want to see it. As much as I know that it's going to be like a one-sided game, which is likely the Eagles. I also want to see a competitive Commanders. I just want a great game. To be honest.
No, I don't even think it's going to be a one-sided game. I feel like the Commanders play, because you know why I don't think it's going to be a one-sided game. It's a divisional game. No matter how good you are, no matter how spectacular you are, when you play divisional opponents 10 times, 8 times out of 10 times, it's going to be exciting. Something will happen. It's going to be back and forth because you guys know each other. There's extra motivation. There's a Super Bowl on the line. So I know that it's going to be a lot of back and forth. But I just wanted to point out that everyone keeps talking about other aspects of the game. They even talk about Philly O-line, Philly offense, Saquon Barkley, Washington offense, Washington defensive coordinator. Washington are 30th in run defense.
Yeah.
The Eagles love to run the ball. The Eagles would rather run the ball for 60 minutes.
They're going to do that consistently.
And the Eagles have excellent defense. People forget that last game that the Washington Commanders won, there were a lot of factors that came into play. Fine, Jalen Hurts had a concussion in the first quarter. Because what people forget is that if Jalen Hurts is 100% fit, Eagles with their run offense are able to keep the ball for long stretches. So what that means is that when Eagles get the ball, they can go for 7-minute drives, 8-minute drives, where your own offense is sitting on the bench waiting for the ball. And then when your offense now get the ball, because you've not gotten a rhythm, the Eagles defense are able to hunt. And because the Eagles probably have a 7-point or 8 or 10-point lead, the Eagles are able to, because you have to pass, they're able to pressure because their pass defense is very, very top notch.
I think they will be mindful of this fact that, you know what, the Eagles would have most of the ball for most of the time. And they're going to work something around it to make sure that they get the ball on time, or they don't allow that to happen. Because I think that's the only strategy they need. They need to figure a way out that they don't hold the ball for that extended amount of period of time. I think that's gonna be like this, one of the decider in this game. They need to ensure that Eagles don't have the ball as much as they normally do. So yeah, it's gonna be a great matchup. I'm looking forward to it.
Sorry guys, I've been having all kinds of difficulties.
Benny, you better go and beg the person that you've offended.
I don't offend people, it's not my style. I know we probably won't be doing the Eagles game. I know we won't be able to do the Eagles game when it comes to the our live stream of the NFL. We'll probably be focusing on the Chiefs and the Bills. For our fans that would like to join us at that point, is by 1 a.m. we should be up and running, so I'll be able to share the link on different platforms. Before we call it a night, guys, Bolly, this season, I think the greatest thing, we've not really paid attention to the NBA, and we're not the only ones apparently, because the ratings for the NBA are down. Like, the ratings are at an all-time low. And we've seen all kinds of theories. Some people are saying, oh, too much 3-point shots. JJ Redick said it's Charles Barkley and the legs that are criticizing the league. Charles Barkley said, no, it's not me and my people, it's you, JJ Redick, that is coaching rubbish. So at this point, we know that the NFL is the NFL. It's like a religion over there in the US. I can testify. But is there a particular reason why the NBA ratings are down and people are not paying attention? The viewership is not what it used to be and stuff like that.
The best teams are dull teams. It's very easy. The best teams currently are dull teams. There are many factors. Obviously, just not one thing. One of the other factors is the gameplay. You know, the referees blew. Like I was watching the game this morning, and Austin Reeves was just jumping backwards, and they were giving him the foul. So the officiating, the gameplay, the style of play is not as exciting as other things we've experienced in the past. But the number one thing is that the best team in the West is in OKC, is in Oklahoma. The best team in the East is in Cleveland, Ohio, and those two teams are mostly basketball. They are mostly football towns, and they are not the proprietary royalty teams in the NBA. I can bet you for a fact, if coming into next season, after 25 games on both conferences, the best team, that's the top 4 teams are Lakers, Knicks, Miami, Warriors.
Yeah.
The ratings will be up because number one, the star power is there. People want to watch. The fan base is all over the country. It's just like, for example, if the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing well, they are literally all over the country. They will watch. They are up. They are excited. There's a noise about it. The same if the Lakers are like really, really going for it. There's a noise about it. Fine, the Knicks are like looking like contenders, or like at least they'll be in the mix. But that's something that they probably need to look at. See. There is that. Okay, think about it. Is it possible for a Lakers team or a Warriors team to be first in the West with only one person being an all-star starter? Because who is voting? Because when the Warriors were even close to being first in the West, Andrew Wiggins got his all-star nod. So, but you have OKC clearly better than everybody, struggling to have 2 all-star starters, or not even having 2 all-star starters. So that's what you explain. The best teams currently. What the NBA needs to do, I'll give them the expo. I don't know if Adam Silva will watch our podcast, but I'll share it. What the NBA needs to do, we need to go and find a way or orchestrate a way for Anthony Edwards to join the Warriors. Join the Warriors.
That is BS.
If Anthony Edwards is literally not a first team or first team all-star.
No, he
did not. No, I'm not saying he's not worth it. I'm saying he did not make first team all-star. He's not a starter this year.
And because of voting now.
That's what I'm saying. If he was in a team like Lakers or Warriors, that voting, he will have the number of votes needed to be the number one.
Wait. Now that now leads me to I'm just trying to buttress your point. That now leads me to why I think the NBA is losing rating. Is the fact that the NBA, I'm saying we because I'm passionate about the NBA. The NBA does not have enough star power like it used to have. Let us be sincere. All of the stars are now relatively at the tail end of their career.
Yeah.
Yes, like we don't have the star power we used to have. Like, talk about the days where we can't call somebody like James Harden the greatest, but he was always in the conversation. He was always a star. He was pivotal to what was going to happen in the playoffs, what going to happen in the end season. But now you have players that when it's time for playoff, they don't even show. Like, you don't see them at all. They only play well during the regular season. Like, look at the last 10 years. We had players that turned up. Like, when it was time for playoff, you would set alarms to watch every playoff game.
Yeah.
We have playoffs that would have like 20 point gap by the first half. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? Because there is not enough star power. Like, unlike before that we had star players sprinkled all over the leagues. it is now in very low quality. And I think it's because we are now, or the way they now do the draft is now like, it is no longer positional, like they're no longer specific about positional players. Like draft is now based on player that can do almost 2, 3, 4 things on the pitch. Like you must be able to play as a power forward, you must be able to play as a point guard. One way or the other, even when you're not tall, you must be a center. But before we had centers that could dominate under the basket. That was
Yeah.
so you get, we had role specific players in times past, but now we now have generalists. They are not specialists at anything, they're just generalists and they get paid a lot. So the fact that we, like for example, now I was supporting Cavs a couple of years ago. Now I'm with the Lakers because of star power. This is the way the NBA works. Unlike NFL, where people support teams that they just support teams wherever they draft the quarterback to, you probably don't care. You are supporting that team. But in the NBA, is a little bit different, especially for their international market. And the US audience fails to realize that the international market played a major role in the reason why the NBA ranking went up. It is the truth. The international market don't care much about the NFL. That's why somebody like me, I have seen multiple NFL games until now. I don't understand up to 50% of the rules because you get what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
the NBA needs to work on that star power and stop drafting generalists. Maybe because of the style now where we now need more threes to win. Because mathematically, it is easier to win the games by increasing your efficiency ratio in the, outside the line. So it sounds stupid, but it's also part of the reasons because if you build a team around 3 specialists, you would win more games. And when you win more games, you make the playoffs. So nobody cares about somebody like Shaq that all he does is bully people in the paint. So I think it's star power. Star power is also one of the reasons, but we don't have enough star. After Victor Wembanyama, the Ball brothers were on and off. Like we now have first pick, like number 1 picks that would not even play a full season. Like
True.
think about it.
So so just I think we're about to round off. So just before we round off, I just want to mention that a new Ronaldo from Manchester United is currently on loan in the Spanish side, Real Betis. He's doing his. I can see him doing his flip trick and spinning the block. Arsenal fans, you're laughing. You probably need him now that Saka is injured. Saka is injured. He's not yet back.
100 million down the drain.
No, he's going for loan to get experience and improve.
You say no, we can answer them.
Internship no love.
We can answer them. You see, if you bet $250 now, you know, you bet $250. You dey cry about 100 million.
Alaye gbàgbé yẹn, ó ní pé Anthony lọ fún internship. Speak on that.
Help on about nothing.
How does a 100 million star player turn to an intern? You didn't see what what's his name of this owner? I think is it Atlanta or Napoli that says, does it make sense if I actually put in 50 million for Anthony?
That's not true. All those quotes are not true now.
As in,
all those quotes are not true. There was also a quote
no,
that said,
he asked himself, he said
it's not true. They just made up quotes. There was also another when they said, why will you pay 60 million for Garnacho? As Garnacho scored 20 goals before. All those quotes are not true. All those quotes are just basically bants.
But the real question is, has Garnacho scored 20 goals in a season?
When you want to see him, they sell him for market. Please. Let's know what we are doing. No. Thank you guys. Yeah. Thank you guys for sticking with us on this episode. Our moderator has been going on off and on. Catch you guys at the rewatch party for the championship weekend, like with the Bills versus the Chiefs.
Is it rewatch or live stream?
Or live stream party for the Bills versus the Chiefs. Hope to have a good time, having lovely conversations.
I hope this time around you don't start yawning during the watch.
I'll try to get some sleep, but it was starting
in the last one. I didn't
I
even
was
know.
sleepy.
I think that game was over before it even started. It was just
Game was over by the first quarter or something.
I
So
say,
I was
yeah. I
sleepy.
mean, I wouldn't blame Bollish because that was what happened. The game was over by first quarter.
All right, guys.
All right, cheers,
See
guys.
you soon. Yeah, bye.